I'm Gretchen Perry, the State Chief Technology Officer from WATEC. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces here today, but for those I haven't met, I joined the state almost 8 months ago after spending 20 fabulous years in the consulting field. You know, I'm often asked, and I think I was already this morning 2 or 3 times, what surprises me most about my transition to the state? So let me start with what hasn't surprised me. The importance of the work we do has not surprised me. The state agencies in this room are doing amazing things every single day, leveraging technology to support Washington's residents, businesses, visitors, and our environment. One of my favorite examples, in fact, is our Department of Fish and Wildlife team is using computer vision right now for fish scale identification and to distinguish freshwater and saltwater salmon to make sure the right ones go upstream and the right ones go downstream, which is really important for the fish, but it's also critically important for us to receive federal funding. The second thing that hasn't surprised me is the dedication of our talent across the state. Our folks are deeply committed to the mission of our work, whether it's mosquito abatement, or building bridges, or helping match kids with foster families. The people that help run this state are extremely passionate about what they do, and their passion is infectious, in a good way. I'm grateful for everything they do to make sure our state and the people in it can reach their full and unique potential, and our environment can continue to thrive. What has surprised me, though, is how much collaboration and cooperation is necessary to be successful in our business. How partners like the ones in this room today from the private, public, nonprofit, and education sectors are essential team members in helping us accomplish our mission. And while the amount of coordination and collaboration needed to achieve our goals sometimes feels heavy, it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's what we're here to do today. Going far together requires teamwork and shared commitment, which are essential for long-term success, sustainable growth, and achieving bold goals. Teams of people united by a common objective achieve greater endurance and impact over time. Our ability to work together makes us all stronger and resilient in the face of disruption and change. The other thing, on a lighter note, that has surprised me was how popular Flat Bill, or Bill on a Stick, would be to the state of Washington. So some of you have met him before. If you haven't had the pleasure, standing ovation for Flat Bill. And I'll bring out the real man, kicking us off this morning with a fantastic keynote. So it is my immense pleasure to welcome to the stage the real Mr. Bill Kehoe, State CIO and WATEC Director. Thank you.
Well, welcome everybody. So good to see you. I love this event because it's home, right? It's our great agency partners. It's our industry partners that serve us in the state of Washington, and it's just what we do, right? We come together and we try to solve problems, and we build partnerships, and we build relationships. So this is a great event. And I know when we go to NASCIO, it's like, hey, could you talk to the other states and tell them how to do what you do at that industry forum? Because we think every state should do that. So we got something good going here. I think we started at the Lacey Community Center, and with about 160 folks, and now we're, close to 400, right? And numbers don't matter. It's the content, it's the engagement, it's the interaction, et cetera, that matters. So I just want to thank you all for making the time today. It goes without saying that everyone's busy, but I think we got to get busy about being strategic. And we got to get busy about building partnerships and relationships. That's not work that's optional anymore, is it? So these are part of our busyness, these types of forums. So just hope you have a great day. One of the things that we've shifted today, which I'm really excited about, is we're moving from panels and presentations, which aren't bad. I'm not saying panels are bad. Steve, I'm not saying panels are bad. Is that okay? You're with me on that? But we want to solve problems here. We want to solve problems because we've talked at length in the past about the talent we have, and Gretchen just talked about it, the talent we have in the state, the talent we have with industry. And when we come together to solve problems, that's how we're going to accelerate modernization. That's how we're going to accelerate doing better for our residents, right? And that's what we're about. So I'm excited. Please attend the breakout sessions. Don't think you're going to go in there and sit. Go in and engage. Because this is our opportunity. We want to promote this in the future to solve problems together. Or it's not just one industry partner, but it's multiple industry partners coming together. And I want to shout out, last time I talked about how let's get industry to partner together to come up with solutions. And we have an example of that today. And where multiple industry partners came together, some of which may have been even competitors, and brought a solution forward. And they're here today, and they have a booth, and I encourage you to get with them and see how they did that. It's phenomenal. I really appreciate that. I do have to call out Gartner today because they came up with this incredible, innovative, what do you call that? The magic quadrant. And it has Washington State up at the, in the top. And it has every other state at the bottom. Is that innovation or what? I love that. And they also have some great candles. I mean, just love the swag from our sponsors. Please engage with the sponsors. It's a big investment to be here, and we want to understand what solutions they have for us. Okay, where's my clicker? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's already to the next slide. How's that? That must be AI. I've got AI in my presentation. So I'm trying a different presentation mode. Instead of PowerPoint, we're using Canva, or is it Carvana? Canva. I call it Carvana, but they said that's not what this is. Where we have very little text, really nice backgrounds, and we just have a dialogue. So I'm trying this out. So have patience with me today. So I'm going to warn you ahead of time. I'm going to challenge us all today. I don't want this to just to be another state CIO presentation. I want to challenge us today. I want to make you uncomfortable today. Is that all right? Because the future of our state depends on us being uncomfortable and assessing how we're doing things and making adjustments. And I'm not just going to talk about modernization, but I'm going to be talking about modernization with a purpose and how it's going to transform, I believe, how we work, how industry works with us, our workforce, how AI is going to be a core of this modernization transformation, So I want you all to think about this today. We're at a point where we got to do things differently. We got to do things differently if we're going to meet the needs of the people we serve. We got to work together differently. We got to think differently. We got to train our workforce differently to actually move to the future. And if we don't, then we're going to stay the same and do things the same. Is that what you want to do? Is that what you want to do? I called on you last week too. I'll call on you this week. And it's not just the state, it's industry. Mr. Dyer, are you going to do the same thing, be the same way, engage with us for the next 5 years? Wrong answer. Industry needs to assess how you engage your workforce, etc. Right? That's the partnership we need to form. So it's okay. I'm going to challenge us all today. Think differently in how we're moving forward. And I want you all to think about how you operate, your team, how you fit into modernization, because we all fit into modernization. All of us do. All right? So if anybody wants to leave now, I guess this is a good time. I was a cross country and track coach for many years at a high school, and I always told my athletes, you gotta run until you're uncomfortable. And it's like, why? Why would I do that? That hurts. So that's how you get better. That's how you run faster. Right? You can't be comfortable because you'll never run faster. It's like the same thing applies to us, right? When we're uncomfortable, we grow. We start to assess. We start to change. And so that's a good thing, right? It's a good thing to be uncomfortable. So I'm going to be discussing how modernization will shape the workforce of the future, how modernization will transform how Washington and government works, how modernization will transform how industry works with government, and how AI will accelerate the modernization transformation. Sound good? All right, let's go. Come on, AI, change the slide. Okay. So let's get some grounding on modernization. I believe that Washington had a major influence on NASCIO, National Association of CIO, who every year puts out a top 10, right? And they always had legacy system modernization in there. Legacy system modernization. Is that what we do? Legacy system modernization? Is that what modernization is replacing systems? No, it's not. It's a part of it, right? It's a part of it. But I love the fact that NASCIO actually woke up and changed from legacy system modernization to modernization. And why is that important? Because modernization encompasses all of the other 9 priorities. That's the power of what we're talking about, right? Modernization isn't just technology. In fact, it's not even the primary focus. Modernization incorporates AI, incorporates cybersecurity and risk management, incorporates budget, and incorporates data. Data is a foundation. It incorporates identity and access management, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there you go. Right? That's why modernization is important. And then we have our great IT enterprise strategic plan. And we have goal 1, which is aligned with digital government, digital services, right? Leave no community behind, equity, inclusion. We have goal 2, which is all around data, which is a huge part of modernization. And then we have goal 3, which is that relevant technology, right? That innovative technology, that emerging technology like AI. And then goal 4, which is transforming our workforce. So you can see from a strategic perspective, modernization aligns not only nationally with our NASCIO top 10, incorporates all of those priorities, but also our IT enterprise strategic plan. Okay? So what are the building blocks of modernization? When you think about modernization and that strategic alignment, what are the building blocks? So if you're in industry today and you go, here's how we can support modernization. If you're in a state agency, here's the modernization we're doing. What are the building blocks of modernization? So the first thing I will tell you is that modernization requires an architecture foundation from an enterprise and an agency perspective. So these are the building blocks. Enterprise services, enterprise solutions are an absolute must for us to modernize effectively in this state. An absolute must. We cannot have every agency building the same thing, duplicating cost and resources, etc. There has to be a set of enterprise services and solutions that we all use, that we all build together, right? So that we can accelerate when we have a modernization project. That architectural foundation. Is that a shift in how we operate today? Maybe. But we've got to be committed to that, right? We have to be committed to that. We can't modernize without the building blocks, the foundation, and those foundations are those architectural components at the enterprise level and the agency level. So think about that as we go forward. We also need to be grounded in enterprise platforms. Enterprise platforms that we all use. Otherwise, what we're going to do what we've done for 20, 30 years. We're going to all go buy our own. And that's not what we should be doing right now. We've got to focus more on data. We're not focusing on data enough. Data is the foundation of everything. And when you think about modernization, we've got data all over the place. We've got data in legacy systems, right? As we modernize, we've got to modernize our data strategy, our data management. We've got to convert our data. We've got to put it into platforms where we can get insights into that data. We've got to turn those insights into adjustments in how we serve our customers. Anybody would argue with that? We got to do it. We got to do it, right? And I always say when you're in industry and you don't know how your customers are consuming your services or whether they even like your services, what happens? Maybe you can get this answer right there, Mr. Dyer. Yeah. You go out of business, right? You got to have those data insights in your customer. In government, we don't serve our residents well. That's how the importance of data. We have to understand when our resident consumes a service, what is the impact of that? What's the outcome of that? And we don't do a good job of that. We don't do a good job of that. And those are the services that are critical to families and individuals in our state. What adjustments do we need to make so that those services are more impactful? That's the power of data. We got to care about data. It's the foundation of modernization. User-centered design, business process re-engineering, accessibility, data management, conversion and analytics, emerging technology and AI, enterprise services and platforms, cloud platforms, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, integration architecture, governance, security, privacy, iterative development into production. And then we talk about what it takes to actually execute well on our modernization program. We're talking about PMO, we're talking about schedule, we're talking about change management, we're talking about budget, communications, and governance. We're talking about environment and release management. All these disciplines are needed to successfully execute on our modernization project. How well do we do these? How well do we do these? So let's think about that. If these are the components and the building blocks, how well do we do these, and how well do we prepare our staff to execute? This is the importance of today, where I want us to feel real uncomfortable and really assess, how do we successfully execute on these modernization projects going forward? Because if we don't understand what it takes and what the building blocks are, we're not committed to enterprise services and platforms, and we want to continue to try to do everything ourselves within our agency, I don't think that's a path forward that's going to be successful. Okay, so how will modernization, and I got my HR team right here. It's like, here we go, right? Here we go. How will modernization transform the workplace of the future? So I just went through the building blocks and all the disciplines, everything it takes to be successful. How are our staff skilled in those areas? Do we have staff skilled in those areas? And do we have staff skilled in those areas in every agency, so that every agency can be successful in executing a modernization project? Anybody? Yes, no, maybe. And I'm not trying to disparage anybody or any agency. I'm trying to look to the future. The future is modernization. We're going to be doing this a lot, and we want to do it successfully. We've got to transform our workforce. We've got to train our workforce around these different disciplines and building blocks of modernization. UI, UX, architecture, data, right? Got to train our staff. On the industry side, are you staffed with the appropriate skill sets to help us with modernization? I have seen some deficits. And I'm not trying to disparage. I'm just telling you that I think industry, and I'd like to challenge everyone in industry today, Do you have the skill sets you need? Because we're trying to hire the same skill sets you are, right? And they're hard to find. They're hard to find. So what can we do about that? When we have an opportunity to hire, we should look very closely at that position and what that position is needed for in the future. So what's your hiring process look like in an agency? I've got a vacancy and they're doing, I don't know, mainframe support. I'll just throw that out there. Well, the mainframe's going away someday. You're right. Yeah. But that individual, right? What's the path forward to align with modernization? How can we transition that individual to the future? And then when an opening comes up, do we fill that opening or actually do we hire for the future? We have to do a better job with that. We have to. Because oftentimes what happens, and this is what my HR unit tells me all the time, it's like, we got to fill it. We need a body, right? We need a body. We got to fill that position. We got to fill it fast. We don't step back and say, whoa, what do we really need here, right? What do we need? Let's all do that, right? Can we commit to that? Let's do a better job of looking at hiring for the future. The other thing I would say is that we've got to break through decades of siloed mindset thinking. Decades, right? Where we're thinking, I've got to do this myself. Is there any agency that could do all those things I talked about on their own successfully without working with other agencies, without getting help, right? From industry, et cetera. So it's okay to break down agency boundaries. It's okay. It's okay. They're bringing in the refreshments. It's all right. And they're gonna be good. Yeah, we got great sponsors. We're having great food today. It's gonna be awesome. We need to do also think about. We got to get much more strategic in our thinking. So if I was to go to any agency in here and say, hey, what's your modernization strategy for the next 4 or 5 years? What services do you want to modernize or do you need to modernize? How are you approaching that? What's your hiring plan? What's your resource plan look like? What would you tell me? That's the way we got to start thinking, right? And we got to work together on that. I want to develop a modernization plan for the state. In that modernization plan, I want to talk about what the resource needs and skill set needs are for the state. And I want to work with our state HR and our HR in our agencies to really look at our job families and make sure we're set to hire for the future. Okay, let's talk about industry now. Where's all the industry folks? Raise your hand. I got to call on all of you. Okay. So y'all just heard about what we're trying to do at the state with our workforce, right? So what pivots does industry need to make, because you're a big part of this, to support us around modernization? What pivots do you need to make? What skill sets are you hiring for? Because we're probably hiring for those same skill sets. And what adjustments do you need to make? What training do you need to provide? And do you have a modernization service? Or where do you fit into this modernization plan? So again, I'm going to encourage all of industry, build partnerships. You can't do everything that I just laid out here for modernization any more than any state agency can. Build partnerships. Those partnerships then can accelerate your business and put you in position to be successful. I've often said I would like to see a day where it's not like, well, you either got to buy this cloud service or you got to buy this cloud service or you got to buy this cloud service. I want to see an integrated, across the board, best of breed opportunity for government to buy whatever works for us. And so I'm going to challenge industry to do that, because I think your business will be better off for it. We're not going to buy your whole stack, but you can partner and deliver a better service to the state. So how do you need to adjust? Master contracts versus multiple agency contracts. If you're issuing multiple agency contracts at different rates, we need to set up a master contract with you. So here's another thing I'm going to do. I want to set up an industry advisory committee to the state, to me as the state CIO, around modernization, so that you can help us and we can help you. So if you're interested in that, that's action from today. Action that we're going to take. Okay, so let's talk big picture here. Never let it be said that I don't have opinions. They may not be right. But I've been talking about modernization for a long time here, and I'm very, very convinced that this is what's going to transform us. So how do we become a government that works better? Right? You just heard Gretchen up there say that all the coordination it takes to get things done. How do we move faster? How do we become more agile and nimble? How do we get things to our residents in a better way? That's what we have to do. We need leadership. Leadership committed to the change. Right? So if you're a leader in here and your leadership is, I'm going to keep doing the things I've been doing forevermore, you're not helping us. You're not helping us. We need a leadership mindset that works across agencies, that is enterprise focused, that doesn't think of enterprise as not my job. I got to focus on my agency. We have to be in this together to make this work. We have to be in this together. And leadership is so important on the industry side and the state side. We got to be committed to data management and analytics and insights. Committed to data, committed as the foundation for everything we do. How can we do AI without data? How can we put a new app up without data? How can we modernize without data? We have got to be committed to data. And we've got to be able to tell those that are funding us how important data is, because it's not going well in that area. We need some storytellers about data. Once upon a time, there was a mainframe. And that mainframe had millions of data. Now, what are we going to do with that mainframe? We're going to convert all that data to a modern cloud platform. And we're going to render that data to our residents so that they can navigate our services. And we're going to put that data in the data analytics platform, and we're going to get insights into how we can serve our residents in a better way. Man, we got to do a better job around data, folks. Anybody with me on this? Come on. We have to pull together the state and industry around modernization. So I want to hold some forums, whatever that looks like, where we just educate. We educate HR, we educate business, we educate leaders, we educate IT. How do we move in this direction successfully? We've got to change our decision package and investment process, folks. It was designed, and again, I'm not disparaging anybody. I'm just talking about the changes we have to make. Our decision package process is designed for single agency, single project. It does not support multi-agency enterprise modernization. And when we try to do it, it's really messy. We get 3 or 4 decision packages from different agencies, and we have to combine them together. And if one doesn't get funded and 2 others get funded, it's like, stop. So we're going to do that. We're looking at a whole new process. And we need your support for that, because modernization needs to be funded the right way. And it needs to be an enterprise approach to that funding. So I have on here HR partnerships. Right? What does that look like? Can't hire the right people, it ain't going to work. So let's start partnering really closely with HR. And I say that because I love our HR folks, but we don't value them enough, and we don't appreciate what they do for us. And if we're going to go in this direction, we have got to partner with them, right? It takes all the disciplines coming together to make this work. How many of you, raise your hand, industry and agencies have a development plan for every one of your staff? Oh, you are a superstar, man. Oh, there, yeah, somebody all right. Gardner does. If we don't invest in training, but training towards a purpose, investing in getting our staff to the right place so they can support modernization, we're not doing our jobs, right? That's so important. Here's where you are now. Candy, here's where you are now. Here's where we need you to be in 5 years, Candy. So exciting. Can't wait. And here's how we're going to train you and develop you so you can be successful. Is that okay? All right. That's what we got to do. And train all those disciplines. What a great opportunity. Rather than you're going to maintain that application for the next 20 years. Hope you like it. Can't do that to our staff. Come on. Industry, you can't do that either. Okay. Now, for the final finale. AI. Is it a fad? Is it going away? So I know I'll probably say something that a lot of people may disagree with, but AI, we have got to be a champion for AI. We have to be a champion. We can't be afraid of it. We can't think that somebody else is going to implement it for us. This is the most transformational technology I have ever seen in my career. It is going to transform so many things for us. When I say transform, I don't mean it's going to eliminate the workforce. I'm not saying that at all. We need our workforce. But we need our workforce to be more efficient, and AI is going to provide that. So when I talk about modernization, I think modernization gives AI a purpose. Because a lot of times we're thinking about, hey, we got to do some AI stuff. Got to do some things with AI. Well, what should we do? I don't know. Let's put Copilot in. That's good. What are some other use cases? Right? It's like we're searching for a problem. Guess what? Modernization gives it a purpose. So we talked about improving the resident experience with modernization. Does AI have a role in that? How can AI improve the resident experience? Anyone? Yeah, and a chatbot, maybe, something like that. Something simple. Help the individual navigate to get to the service they want, right? How about with data conversion, data quality, data insights? Can AI help with that? Right? Secure data insights, secure data conversion. You got to always have the guardrails. I'm not saying unleash the guardrails and let's go wild. I'm saying we got to use AI. So when you think about modernization and the conversion of data from legacy systems into these modern platforms, put these into modern platforms, Brian, Databricks, right? And enterprise data platform, AI, or you're all over that. Powerful, right? Let's unleash that. Come on. Yeah. Testing. You know how complex testing could be with these modernization projects? Did you know AI, if you feed it business processes and other information, can create test cases for you? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Do you know how many hundreds of hours we spend developing intricate test cases? When AI can do it, if you feed it the right information in 30 seconds. This is the acceleration I'm talking about. It's phenomenal. I've actually seen this. It's like, you got to be kidding. Step by step by step. Here's the acceptance criteria. Here's the data we need. Boom. Now, do you have to validate that? Yes. But it can be done. It's only going to get more accurate. How about business process re-engineering in AI? Agentic AI, workflow, business process. Oh my gosh, game changer. It really is. And how many How many of us have business processes that probably need to change? Crystal has some, yeah. I'm glad there's one. Thanks, Crystal. We'll get that AI right over to you. But we have legacy business processes, folks. In our business, a lot of times we let our business folks off the hook because we just want to give them a new system. Right? No, it's a partnership. We have to document our current as is. We have to look at the to be. We have to match that. Then technology comes in, not what we've been doing for the last 20 years. Just give me a new system and my world will be great. No, it won't, because we've got legacy business processes. Let AI help us with that. Let AI help us. How many in industry have a service using AI to help with the business process reengineering? There you go. So, how long does it take to convert an old programming language like COBOL or something to a modern language like, I don't know, C#, .NET, whatever? How long does that take today? Years, right? Years? Years? How long does it take with AI? There are AI solutions out there that could take your COBOL code and convert it in seconds. Seconds. So when we're talking about modernization and we say we've got to understand the business logic and the eligibility rules or the data structures or the integrations associated with this old system, we've got to deploy AI. It can extract those business rules and put them into common language. This is the future, folks. This is the future, and we can't ignore it. And so we've got to get some prototypes so we can show everybody, but we've got to move. We've got to move. It's okay. We'll move together, but we have got to incorporate AI to all aspects of modernization. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. All right. So I'm going to close here by saying, as you're going through the day, you're thinking about what I just talked about. I'm going to we're going to put a modernization plan together for the state. We're going to work with agencies on their modernization plans. We're going to look at our DP process and make changes to that. Right? We're going to work together to develop enterprise services so we can have the building blocks and the foundation for modernization. We're going to hold forums to educate our business leaders. IT and industry is going to help us around modernization and the future of that and how it's going to change government and how we work. We're going to have an advisory council to me and to the state of industry leaders around modernization. All right? We're going to help you. You're going to help us because we can't do it without you. So that's action. That's action today. And I hope you're thinking about this. We're going to partner greater with HR as well. We're going to bring them all in because we need everybody. But I see the day here in this thing where this isn't called IT Industry Forum. We're going to have business leaders here. We're going to have our legislators here. And we're going to talk about how we can serve our residents in a better way and how we can work better as a government. All right, thank you.